Meg and I have been to a lot of cool places both in and out of the US, but never Europe. We decided to take a short break from visiting all the national parks to plan a few trips overseas, and thus we booked Ireland and England. Now, spoiler alert, this is nothing like the trips we've been on in the past, but it definitely is one of our favorites. This trip began with a 7-hour flight from Cincinnati to Dublin. We have made it to our hotel in Dublin. Megan just slept in the lobby for like 2.5 hours while I scrolled through Twitter because she didn't sleep on the plane, I'm guessing.
I did sleep on the plane, but my body was telling me I needed more.
Yeah, so I think they eventually just felt bad for us and upgraded our room since we're Diamond members, and it has a really good view. We did also successfully pack in carry-ons for the first time, which is a good practice for all these Europe trips we have coming up. We're in Ireland for 3 full days without traveling. Today we're just walking around, exploring. We have nothing planned. Tomorrow we'll just be in the city. We have like 4 or 5 things with time entry that we're gonna do. And then the third day we'll be doing the Cliffs of Moher excursion to see some of the countryside. Right now we're in the Temple Bar district, which is like pretty much the hot spot of Dublin. It's super touristy, but the Temple Bar is just a spot you can't miss.
So this is our first coffee outside of the United States from Starbucks, and we are excited. We had to order it a different way, which was kind of fun.
My favorite thing about Dublin is just when you think you found all the best streets, you turn the corner and find yet another bustling, upbeat avenue lined with good food and shops. Very unlike us to have an entire day not outlined on an itinerary, but since we landed at 5 a.m. Dublin time, we weren't sure if we were going to feel like doing absolutely anything. So we have a day to just kind of walk around.
We got the essentials, so we're all good to go there.
Right behind me is the famous Molly Malone statue. You can tell that she's been shined over the years. This is our second day in Europe. Today we have a few timed entry things to do. We're starting at Dublin Castle, then we're going to the Book of Kells experience, St. Patrick's Cathedral, and the Guinness Storehouse. We're a little late because we took some time eating breakfast at the hotel.
My fault.
We're in quite the rush. Caps don't come off the water bottles here. They just hit you in the face.
We just got to Dublin Castle a little bit late, but we'll see if they let us in still.
Dublin Castle is over 800 years old, but most of what you see now is part of what's been rebuilt after fires broke out in that time. The Record Tower is the only remaining portion from the original castle.
So we're listening to an audiobook in our AirPods right now. It kind of tells the stories about all these different rooms. It goes room by room, which is really cool. It gives a lot of the history, and it's some of the oldest things that John and I have ever seen ever, which is so crazy.
We're done with Dublin Castle, and we also checked out the Dublin Gardens right behind it. Now we're on our way to St. Patrick's Cathedral, where I booked our tickets for the wrong time.
Hopefully we can get in. We just got to St. Patrick's Cathedral. We don't know if we can get in or not, but hopefully we can.
The angel calling Patrick to return to Ireland and save the Irish from their sins.
They give you these little phone type players to go do like a self-guided tour at all the stops. You just click your stop number, and you just hold it like you're talking in the phone. It tells you some stuff. St. Patrick's Cathedral is not only the largest cathedral in Ireland, but also one of the oldest. One of its most famous connections is to Jonathan Swift, who authored Gulliver's Travels. He was the cathedral's dean for over 30 years and is actually buried inside. In the 19th century, the cathedral underwent a major restoration funded by Sir Benjamin Lee Guinness from the famous Guinness brewing family, saving it from collapse.
Okay, so we just got finished touring St. Patrick's Cathedral, which is behind us, and it was pretty cool. We got to listen to an audio tour the whole time, go around to the different spots.
Now we're on our way to the Trinity College to see the Book of Kells. There's a whole experience we're doing that takes about an hour and a half. The Book of Kells is one of the oldest books in the world, so it should be a pretty cool tour. It's a little bit on the other side of town, so we're going to start heading that way and see what we find along the way.
So we just stopped to get crepes and a little bit of iced coffee here. And about to take the first bite. I'm excited. Very demure, very cutesy.
We made it to Trinity College. We're in the main courtyard right now. And we're about to start our self-guided tour through the Book of Kells experience. As you can tell, most of the books have been removed recently in a preservation effort. So only the first few shelves actually still have books in them, and they just recently started doing this.
Yeah, we're going to be some of the last people to see these books, like the normal people.
They're all being virtually recorded and stored, probably never to be seen again. For our last place that day, we had to take a taxi from Temple Bar to the Guinness Storehouse. We've made it to the Guinness Storehouse, so we're doing a self-guided tour, and I think we get some samples towards the end of it. It has a really cool bar on the roof that's a circular glass structure. This place smells just like the Avatar ride at Disney. It smells like a Disney attraction in this entire place. The Guinness tour was actually quite impressive. It was a much better production than what I thought it would be.
This is going to ensure you have a better tasting experience later on, as your senses of smell go very hand with your sense of taste. Behind it then is the beer esters. Now beer esters are a by
About to try it for the first time.
Sláinte. Pull that glass up to your nose. Deep inhale. And now take a nice healthy mouthful of that Guinness. And healthy mouthful is what I'm talking about. Is anybody looking at me like I have three heads and has no idea what I'm talking about?
Nastiest thing I've ever had in my life. I don't know what's wrong with people. It was smooth, but it was disgusting. So we just made it to the Sky Bar, so we're gonna go grab our Guinness and take a look at the view.
Today's our third day in Dublin. We have an excursion on Viator to the cliffs of Moher. It's only about 6 a.m. so I could barely convince Megan to get out of bed. She actually asked if we could cancel it. because it's like a 3-hour drive on a motor coach there. Wish me luck.
Joe's got the most important job of the day. He's got to get us all the way across the country and back again safely. And when you see some...
The Irish countryside was just as I imagined it. I learned from our driver that until the 90s, Ireland actually was not even considered a first world country. The road that we took to get from one side of the country to the other was actually one of the first major highways that they had built. Made it to the cliffs of Moher. We're about to walk out to a couple of the viewpoints and walk along the cliff edge to see some of the main spots.
Putting on his jacket right now because we're both a little chilly. But look,
It's not cold.
but look what our beach is like.
We've had great weather all 3 days here so far. Most of the time people come here to the cliffs and you can't even see them because the visibility is so bad. We're finished with our Cliffs of Moher experience.
Heading back to the bus, cutting it close as per usual.
Yeah, we have about 2 minutes to be back on the bus. Wish us luck.
...on the land or working at sea. And normally those sweaters were knit by the wives. And
The road from the Cliffs of Moher to Galway is referred to as Wild Atlantic Way. We had a great guide on the bus that told us a ton of interesting stories about the things we passed. We passed castles, the Burin National Park, and finally we made it to Galway City. Right now we're in Galway City. We have about another hour here to explore. We just got done eating dinner at an Italian place. Shopping's really good here. I actually might like this city just as much, if not more, than Dublin. We just got dropped off after a 13-hour excursion, but now we're gonna go pack up and get ready for our flight tomorrow to London. We've made it to London. We're in our Wild Apart hotel, and most of the hotels here are very tiny rooms.
Well,
Not sure where all of our bags are gonna go just yet.
oh my gosh, I really don't know, honestly. Good. I found a little compartment under here. I think that we can stow some food away down here.
Now we're gonna go out and grab some lunch and get our first views at Covent Garden, which is one of the main neighborhoods in
And
this
hopefully
area.
an iced latte, if we can find one.
Yes, we definitely are in need of one of those. Like Monopoly money, I mean, it doesn't even feel real, it's like plastic. First impressions of Covent Garden is it's absolutely beautiful. There's so many shops and restaurants right outside of our hotel. We're just 2 steps out the front door and this is what it looks like. Found a place that has really good looking food and coffee.
Got my first meal in London, and I got Italian food, of course.
Right now we're in the heart of Covent Garden, where all the shops and food are. It's really nice here. There's a lot of great places. What has attracted you to this place?
The desserts. We just got our first dessert in London, and it's a macaroon from this little bakery called Paul.
puddle jumper flight from Ireland to London was very nice. The economy seats were actually extremely roomy. Like my feet couldn't even touch the thing in front of me. It was that
seat.
There was that much space. It was our first time flying British Airways, and it was really nice. Yeah.
It was good.
Something weird is there was no jet bridge. You just walked right out on the runway, which is interesting.
Kind of like in the islands, but colder.
Also, it is so nice flying with just carry-ons and backpacks.
So nice having all your stuff with you. You grab it, you know you have everything you need. You get off. It's only not fun when you're trying to close the bag going from place to place.
Yes, it can be a battle, but it's worth it.
Are you enjoying London?
I am. I already almost like it better than Dublin just because it's like it's a big city, whereas Dublin was like shorter buildings, more historic city. We have a lot better itinerary here. It's better laid out on our part. We looked on the map and found this place called Somerset House, and it was only about a 5 to 10 minute walk from our place. We're just sitting on the patio enjoying our first night in London.
We're having a great time. We've only been here a few hours.
Yes, we love it so far. Covent Garden, we chose the best place to stay, and we love our tiny apart hotel as well.
Just got coffee and breakfast at a little place called Pret, and this is the only size coffee they had. It's probably about the size of a tall at Starbucks at home. And then we're heading to Westminster to see Big Ben and get our pictures there.
This is our first full day in London. We've broken up our 3 full days in London into 3 separate areas of London. Today is kind of by Westminster, Buckingham Palace area, and obviously our first stop to see Big Ben.
Just getting our first look at Big Ben, Westminster Abbey, and it's incredible. Okay.
We've made it to the viewpoint for Big Ben.
Westminster Abbey, right behind us.
Yes, we are going to take a few pictures and then make our way towards the Abbey, and then after that, Buckingham Palace. We might try to see the changes of the guard if we can make it in time. Cool. It's getting close. We've made it to Westminster Abbey. It is massive in here. The ceilings must be hundreds of feet tall.
And they give you a phone, some headphones so you can listen to the tour.
Westminster Abbey, founded way back in 960 AD, is where every monarch has been crowned, and it's also hosted royal weddings like Prince William and Kate's in 2011. The Abbey has over 3,300 famous figures buried there, including Isaac Newton, Charles Darwin, and tons of writers like Shakespeare and Charles Dickens. And here's something wild. During World War II, the Abbey was actually damaged in the Blitz, but it's all been restored, keeping it as one of the UK's most iconic landmarks and a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
We're walking into St. James Park, which is basically how you get to Buckingham Palace. This is one of the gates to Buckingham Palace. We just went into the King's Gallery where there's a bunch of like famous photographs of the royal family and whatnot. It was a really cool gallery with like a history of all the portraits of all the people in the royal family.
We just made it to Piccadilly Circus. Kind of reminds me of Times Square in New York City.
Right now we're in the National Gallery, which is a free exhibit in London. They have some of the most famous paintings in the world here. We got to enjoy the National Gallery for a little while, and now we're heading to our last item on our itinerary, which is the London Eye. We're on our way towards the Tower of London to start our second full day here, and we are currently on the tube. Megan may have already messed it up by using the same Apple Pay card that I use, so it doesn't know where to tap out at.
I didn't know.
I can see why they recommend like 3 hours to do this. It's a maze and it's quite massive.
So big. There's like 12 towers, maybe more. There's so many.
You could definitely spend a couple hours here and not get bored. They have an audio guide with headphones, but this place they charge for it, so we said, nah. Our next stop on today's path is the Sky Garden, which is a pretty tall building. You can go out on the roof, tickets are free, and then we're ending the day with the view of the Shard, which is the tallest building. We're at Leadenhall Market, which is a spot where they filmed Harry Potter. It also kind of looks like part of what's in the Wonka movie.
We're at the Bank tube station, and we're gonna head to St. Paul's Cathedral from here. But just taking a couple pictures here because it's really cool, and then we're gonna head there.
Just another cathedral. I'm not sure what else is special about it. Ceilings are quite tall here. Found out that you can climb all the way up to the very top of the cathedral. About 600 steps to the top, so I think we're gonna pass.
Yeah.
After St. Paul's, we made our way to Borough Market, where we heard they have some of the best street food in London, and it did not disappoint. To Tower Bridge, where we did a self-guided tour that took us up on the top of it and over a glass walkway where you can see through the floor. We have to get to the Shard. Tower Bridge is much larger than it looks from the outside. We kind of had to hurry through it because I made our reservation on top of the Shard for a little earlier than I should have. The Shard is definitely much nicer than Sky Garden, probably because it costs around £40 more per person, but it's the tallest building in the United Kingdom and it's absolutely beautiful from the top. I gotta take croissant. We just got off the Central line and made it to Hyde Park, which is where Kensington Palace is. So we're making our way to the palace. We get entry with our London pass. Hyde Park is absolutely massive. I mean, it would take you like 20 minutes to walk from one side to the other on the short end. After this, we are going to walk over to Paddington Station and take a train to Windsor Castle, tour the castle, and then do a hop-on, hop-off bus tour around Windsor to kind of see the town while we're there.
Grab some lunch too, hopefully.
Most important.
Walk 5 miles to get to Paddington Station, but a nice fellow told us we can take this train.
We just got off the train at Windsor Castle. It was our first bullet train. It was going like 130 miles per hour. We're gonna go see if we can't get into the castle and take a tour. Just arrived at Windsor Castle and it's fairly desolate here. There's a large protest right outside, so I think a lot of people are scared to enter. So it's
We got it all to ourselves.
quite literally empty here. There wasn't even one person in line for security. Today is the day we head home.
Dude, I cannot get all the stuff in here. I don't know how I did it the first time.
I had to sit on my bag and find with it for about 5 minutes to get everything back in the carry-on. But it's in there, it's all that matters. I think my favorite part about London was all the little things that are different from the US. We're gonna go grab some croissants and do our little morning routine one last time. And as always, we'll end this video with a montage of our favorite shots.